Hello there. I want to talk about democracy because democracy is not an opinion. I see a lot of people arguing over whether something is anti democratic or not, whether something is fascist or not, which is a video for another time, the definition of fascism. But democracy isn't an opinion, it's a specific thing that has specific characteristics. Democracy is the institutionalization of freedom. It's not freedom. It's freedom translated into systems and institutions. Now, the word itself comes from the ancient Greek. It means power to the people. And back in ancient Greece, the big revolutionary idea in democracy was that poor men, it was only men, poor men were able to participate on an equal level with the rich. That was the just mind-blowing, huge leap forward. I don't think we're there anymore. I don't think that the poor have an equal voice with the rich, but let's stay with that original definition. Now, there are certain characteristics of a democracy that make it a democracy, right? Number one is consent of the governed. Number two is free elections. Number three, constitutional limits on power that are written into the Constitution. Then majority rule and minority rights. Again, majority rule, the majority of voters decide how the country will go, but protections of minorities. That if most of the people in the country look down on African Americans or another minority group, we still protect their rights, that they have equal rights of everybody else. That's the 14th Amendment, equal protection under the law. Number five is transparency and accountability. Obviously, it's very difficult to have a democracy when voters don't know the truth of what's happening in their government. Then there's a multi-party system, so that you have more than one candidate to vote for in every election. Economic freedom, that I should be allowed to do whatever I want in order to earn my living. Rule of law, human rights, the protection of my rights as a human being to exist and thrive, right? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Freedom of expression, that would be the First Amendment, the freedom to say what I want without fear of government punishment or government retaliation. Often misunderstood, freedom of the freedom of speech doesn't mean there are no consequences to what you say. It means you won't be retaliated against by the government. Freedom of association, which is being allowed to join and leave whatever groups that you want. And finally, freedom of religion, also protected in the First Amendment. So these are the characteristics of a healthy democracy. Now let's talk about the United States democracy, because a lot of people are very resistant to the idea that the US is not the best democracy in the world, and it isn't. It's not the healthiest democracy in the world. We are not fully free. And I don't say that because it's my opinion. I say that because people who've spent their entire lives, devoted their lives to the study of democracy in the world, create a ranking every year. This is from the Global State of Democracy Initiative. They rank countries every year according to the state of their democracy in terms of how healthy each of those characteristics are. And here you go. Germany and Uruguay share the number one spot. Number three, Sweden. Number four, Finland, Norway, then Netherlands, Costa Rica, and on down. Now, in order to get to the United States, we need to page down quite a ways. Iceland, Israel, Panama, Argentina, Trinidad, Brazil, Malta, Romania, Vanuatu, the United States. The United States is ranked number 46. And we actually gained 3 points in 2024. We'll see how that changes for 2025. But right now we're 46th in the world. Now, I grant you, that's 46 if you go to the bottom. That's 46 out of 154. So it's not terrible, but we're definitely not the best democracy in the world. We are not the most free. If democracy is institutionalized freedom and our democracy is in trouble, it's weak, then we are not the most free people. This is why so many people in the United States are fearful, why they are motivated to take action, and why, personally, as a journalist, who is biased on the subject of freedom, I will say that I am pro-freedom, pro-democracy. I think this is a good time for all of us, every single person, and I don't care about your political party. It's a time for all of us to think carefully about how we can strengthen our democracy and improve all of those characteristics that make a democracy strong. Okay, thank you so much. Have a great day. Be kind.